For years, I have traveled the world slinging my creator-owned comics at the biggest and hottest cons. Now I'm busting out my personal collection of comics, toys, games, and more in order to bring the fun and excitement of con life right to your screen. There's only one place to get your comics and collectibles and chat live with the greatest showman in modern comics. So bust out your keyboard and get ready to call it in. You're watching Kickin' It with Onrie, the live shopping show. Merry Christmas, everybody. You're watching Kickin' It with Onrie, the live shopping show. I'm your host, Onrie Company. It's great to be here with you guys. And joining me on this wonderful Christmas evening, I have my one and only good friend and frequent collaborator, Chuck Pino. How you doing, Chuck?
Ho, 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 mofos!
What's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. You know what? On this wonderful Christmas day, I have a question to ask because I have not met a lot of Jewish people in my life, and I'm always very interested in other cultures. So I want to know if this is true or not, or at least the level of truth.
Sure.
So on Christmas Day, I've been told that most Jewish people usually end up going out for Chinese food for dinner.
Yes.
Is that a real thing?
Yes, but this year I didn't eat Chinese food.
That's the best thing ever. Like I want to culturally appropriate that.
Oh, it is a thing. There's actually a Chinese place like right by me. And they have like really good coconut shrimp. It's like really good. Like they do like this glaze. It's like this glaze or something, and it goes around the shrimp, and it's like fried shrimp. It's really good. But yeah, that is a thing. A lot of Jews go out for Chinese.
I love that. I love it.
Or do takeout now.
Yeah.
In fact, it gets so busy that it takes a long time to get your food. It's like, 2 hours, wait right now. And they hang up the phone on you. Sometimes they call, we got too many order. Hang up the phone. Which is a good reason to switch over to Thai or Korean food. Just saying.
Right. Yeah. Okay. You got options at least.
Yes, absolutely. Who do we got in the house here? We got Chris Deiskell and we got Tori in the house. This is great. Merry Christmas to both of you guys. Tori, did you finally get to open up all your Christmas presents? And Chris, how about your kids? How are they enjoying Christmas? We got Leonard Pig in the house. In my city, the Chinese buffet is always open during the holidays.
Yeah.
That's up. All right, so Chuck, I'm going to ask you a question now because you are the master of questions. I have to say, not only I think that's like your greatest superpower as an editor is asking the right questions to help solve those problems, break through those roadblocks, but even not just as an editor, but also as a writer.
Okay.
Well, we're kind of coming close to the end of the year here, and you and I have done a lot of things together. How excited are you about the fact that we have all of these different covers here of Warline and Isuchin and like all these things we got going on, man? Like, how awesome is that? Like,
it's really awesome, but it's really awesome because it's unprecedented. If you go back and look at the earlier Yisun Shins, you didn't get you didn't get variant covers. That wasn't really a thing. And so this is something new that we've been playing with, and people have been digging them. And we've gotten some great artists.
Absolutely. We got we're going to talk all about that in just a moment here. But
yeah.
Aside from that, the reason why I was asking this question specifically was, I remember our first conversation together when we were talking about Warline and everything, and I didn't think that project was going to exist. But here it is. It exists now, and we got a second issue on the way. I will be dropping a preview of the first 12 pages of the book sometime by the end of this week. I need to have a PDF compiled and checked over by Chuck before I send it out to you guys. Everybody's going to have a chance to get a free preview of Warline too. Chuck, did you know that I was going to get to this point? I mean, did you have any inkling or whatsoever when we were having that conversation? Because I did not think we would get there. In all honesty.
I had 100% faith, and a lot of that is just because you and I gelled so well. We were both so excited about the idea and the project and everything, but also you don't just get to issue 9 or 10 of a book and not be able to be someone who we can trust to pull shit off. So I knew that we were going to be where we are. I knew that when it came to it, we wanted 3 issues of War Lion, and they will happen. And in fact, it looks like there's a good chance there's going to be more than just 3. Throwing that out there, people.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, Chuck. Yeah, and I got to say, one thing I'm really grateful for is, our friendship throughout all of this, because we've done a lot of work together at this point, and I can't believe it. It's actually been 2 years since you came on board after Dak passed away, and it's just like the amount of work that we have managed to complete in that time is actually like pretty awesome. Like, it's nice being able to come to a convention and finally tell people I have something new, because that was something I was really concerned about, like going after COVID, was that we didn't have any new stuff, and yet here we are just back out on the scene. So that's always made me feel really good.
I mean, if you think about it, in that 2 years, guys, we've done War Lion 1. War Lion 2 is so close to done, it's ridiculous. We've done we did the last issue 10 of Yisun Shin, but we also went back.
Yep.
And we redid what, issues 1 through 5?
It's 1 through 5. And let me also point out, very soon we are just going back to press. We're not even going to Kickstarter, because I just want this book to be out there so that I can hit the con scene like running. We are going back to press on Yisun Shin, Warrior and Defender, the first graphic novel. That is this book right here, because I'm almost out of these books. I have like less than 100 left. Like, that's going to last me like maybe 1 or 2 conventions at max. So we're going back to press, and we're using all the new files that you and I worked on. That's going to be the base of this book, and then we're going to include an extra interview in the next printing with Chuck, since he came on and he actually worked on issues 1 through 5 now. And by the time all is done, he'll have his name on all the books. This is going to be really cool. I'm really excited to reissue the first graphic.
Which is why, everybody, since you have the chance to pick up those hardcovers, you should, because the new ones will definitely be different. And so these ones will be, they'll obviously be the older version.
Those printings are numbered too. So these are actual first printings of that graphic novel. And just so everybody knows, we're doing 20% off on everything tonight. This is like a store-wide, discount. I know it's Christmas. I know, like, I would much rather just be sitting around playing video games. I'm sure Chuck would much rather be like hanging out and doing nothing. But we want to be here for you guys, because we love you all. So there's no force on buying anything. But if you don't buy anything, both Chuck and I are going to be really sad. Like, Chuck's already kind of got the tears forming at the corner of his eyes.
It's tough, man. The holidays are tough, man. No, but we're hanging out with awesome people. Friggin' David Moore's here, Kevin Gillette is here, Don Johnson, Leonard Pig, Victoria Pagic, Ed Weird, Chris, guys, so many good people. My family's here.
We got John Westoff in the house.
John Westoff.
What's up, Kevin? Merry Christmas, dude. That's awesome. All right, we got a nice full room here. So, Chuck, what's one of your biggest, your accomplishments? Like, when you're looking back on this year, what are one of your biggest accomplishments as a creator? And what are you hoping to achieve in 2024?
So, 2023, I've really took a step back. So, really, for me, it was actually working with you, and I know that sounds like it's the thing I'm supposed to say, but you have kept my. No, but like that's what everyone's gonna assume. Like, of course he's gonna say that, but for me, you helped keep my eye on the prize. Like, I knew that I didn't. What up, Nita? How you doing, girl? I knew that I didn't want to step away from comics, but I had to at least take a step back, and in doing that, I was able to get a breather, kind of start to get my life together, which will definitely take into how hard I'm going to come back next year. But you being a part and you and I working on these books has kept me still here, still working, still doing what I love and not completely away. Because I think if I completely stepped away, it was going to be a lot less likely that I came back. And so still having my hooks in.
Yeah, no, you definitely got your hooks in, but you don't even need to. Your hooks aren't ingrained. It's like they're calloused inside whatever, you know, whatever they're attached to. Because like, dude, when I was at my lowest, you picked me up, and I'm not saying that you were in your lowest by any means in 2023. To be honest with you, you have picked me up on more than one occasion. When we were at Comic Palooza, as a matter of fact, I was having a really down day. I mean, I was in the middle of the final part of my actual divorce, and I was just having a rough time. And it wasn't just there; it was also C2E2. Like, you were there to kind of pick me up when I was just not wanting to be at the convention, not having any desire to sell, wanting to give up and throw in the towel. You really pushed me, and not in a way of get off your ass and do something. You were just very understanding of what I was going through, and you were a friend helping another friend out. And that's what I think comics collaboration's all about. It's you want to know you can trust the guy you're working with. You want to know he's got your back. And whether it's working on stuff that I'm publishing or something that, we might try and pitch to someone else, I like to know that I can depend on you as a cohort, as somebody that has my back. And I want you to feel the same way about me,
Oh, dude, you've been such a huge help to me in 2023, and also just kind of like I said, keeping my eyes on the prize, and even just being able to be there for you. When you're already in a shitty place, it's really nice to be able to be there to help someone else out and to have their back, because then it's cool. It's not all about me. I'm not constantly in my own shit. And so, it's been really good. At C2E2, there was a point where I was like, yeah, you got to leave. And you were like, what? I'm like, you got to walk away for a minute.
Yeah.
Go enjoy your friends, chat with your friends, talk to whoever you want, and then you can come back and sell again. But you're just going to be angry here right now. You're having a rough go. Go away. And my wife did the same thing to me. So,
but
it's just we need it.
I actually have a story for everybody, if I can tell it. It's a personal story, but it involves you and Wendy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, of course.
So we're at C2E2 on Sunday. And, obviously I'm trying to work the crowd. And it was a really tough crowd on the Sunday of C2E2. But I remember this very tender moment at the convention. And Chuck was making a sale. And he had sold a metal print that was done by Chris Madd, one of our variant artists, and someone we hope to collaborate again with on multiple projects. And he was making the sale, and it was just Chuck. I think when it comes to sales, we're not looking at it from the perspective of how do we go about it in the corporate fashion of what a sale is. We're in the business of building relationships. We want a fan base, people who feel like they can call us friends, who are going to come back when we have that next project going. And Chuck made some really wonderful connections. And while he was working his magic, and this is his magic, this is why he's ingrained in this industry, is because he knows how to do this stuff, just like I do. He has his approach, and it's magic. And I see Wendy on the side just watching him, and she's just got this look in her eyes. It's such pride and such happiness to see Chuck in his element, work in the crowd. And that's something I really respect about you. And one of the biggest things that has made me happy is getting, is seeing you come on the experience and joining the team. I was really crossing my fingers and kind of gently nudging, but obviously, I couldn't say, hey, you guys need to get Chuck on here. It just naturally happened, and I'm just so happy it did, because I don't think the experience is the same without you, dude.
That's been great.
You really care about the people in our community.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, by the way, you've got some sales already. The people are going to be in and out. They've already been saying that, but David Moore came in. David Moore wants a Tales from the Crypt.
Okay.
And he also wants to. He says, charge him for a regular Warlion, but throw it on somebody else's list.
Okay, so someone's getting Warlion.
Someone's getting a Warlion.
Yeah, somebody who hasn't gotten Warlion yet. And I think that might be, if we look up somebody who hasn't received it yet, I would think it would be Nita Lanning. I'd be more than
That's exactly where I went. Yes.
I was thinking Nita Lanning. So Nita Lanning gets a copy of Warline. And, David Moore, I got you on Tales from the Crypt. Now, I'm going to get you guys, give you a little prenup here about as we get going on sales here. But like I said, everything is 20% off. We have variant covers here of Warline that we're going to start off with. These are all our variants of both Warline and Yisun Shin. Some of these are limited to print runs of only 100 copies, and some of them, most of them, I have less than 50 copies in stock to sell. I'm going to sell this stuff piecemeal over the course of the conventions I do over in 2024, but I want to give you guys a chance to jump on this. And I want to cut you in on a little deal here. And I'll sign anything you guys want. These books are all signed and numbered as well. So they're not just like, it's not just, 100 or whatever. It's just, I literally wrote in the numbers for each book. So you guys are getting signed and numbered books. Chuck, I'm going to take it to a full screen. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, real quick, I was going to say thank you to Kevin and everybody else who's been sharing it out. And Eddie wants to hear about Tales from the Crypt. You got to tell him about what you did with that.
I'm going to tell you guys about everything right now. We're going to get to it.
Okay.
All right. I'll get to the signing and everything. All right. So first thing I'm going to offer you guys tonight is this Chris Madd variant of Warline #1. This is the cover B of Warline #1, limited to 100 copies. This particular copy, and I have multiples of these, so it's not a big deal. I can always run upstairs and grab them. They're all in my office. This is number 86 of 100, and it is going for $15 at conventions. But today, because we're doing the 20% off deal, it is going for just $12 today. So $12 on this variant here. We're taking $3 whole bucks off. $12 on Warline #1, the Chris Madd variant.
That cover is so good that I bought it. Like I was given comps anyways, but I bought that cover because I was like, no, I gotta have that. I want that for my collection. So yeah,
it is such a great cover. So
yeah,
what happened with this was I hired Chris. Chuck actually introduced me to Madd. We hung out at C2E2 in 2022, and that's where I really got to know him. And after that, we ran into each other at different conventions. Oh my God, we got Dexter Wee here.
Dexter, yeah.
And actually, Dexter, if you'd like to come on the show, Dexter's got some original art that I think he wants to show off and maybe even sell on the show. Dexter, let me know if you're interested, and I'll pop over a link for you, and you can come and join the party here.
If he's interested, I'll send it to him. You're busy.
Yeah. All right, so we got Warline #1 over here going for $12. This is the Chris Madd variant, again, numbered. Any copy you get comes signed and numbered. I will grab it for you upstairs if we got more than one claim on that. The next cover here is done by Kanan White and colored by Adriana De Los Santos, Yisun Shin's resident colorist. Kanan White recently did a cover for Marvel. He did the Luke Cage Gang War tie-in cover. And he is just a rock star artist. I absolutely had such a great time working with him. I mean, just look at the details on this. Chuck, I was actually thinking about this cover in particular, and what did you think about this as a banner image at conventions? I mean, it is just so riveting. I absolutely love it. I think Chuck stepped away for a minute, but either way, we got. When he comes back, I'll ask him the question again.
Sorry, and I heard it. Sorry, real quick. I was sending him the info.
Dex is coming in. Dex is joining us.
Let me see that cover real quick.
Yeah, that's a Kanan White cover. What do you think? Do you think that would
work? That could. It's like it's busy, but it's not too busy. Like it takes up everything. That could totally work.
We're making some changes to the convention setup going into 2024. This is something I'm going to be focusing on. Like I have been focusing on actually. And one of the things I've been doing is the banners that I've been using at cons are all made of vinyl, and they're all very heavy to travel with and take up a lot of weight, and they're a lot harder to put together. So I'm switching over to a fabric banner, which is what a lot of guys have been doing for a little while now. So I'm finally catching up. but I want to do a Warline banner, and I'm trying to find the right image for it. We got the Kickin white cover here. This is also going to go for $15. We're going to knock it down to just 12 for you guys. And the Kickin white, this is a 45 out of 100. 45 out of 100. And we're doing this at $12. Normally these sell at $15. Sometimes I charge even more at cons. Sometimes I charge $20 for them, and they still move, you know? I can put whatever price I want on it.
and yeah, Eddie. So normally, like he said, it is 15 because Eddie was asking, is the 20% what what is that? So normally they are $15, but he's knocking them down to 12. That's the 20% off.
Yeah, but sometimes, like if I'm at a con, and I want to because I only have like a set amount of copies of it, I'll raise the price on it to $20. You know, but normally I sell these at 15 on Kickstarter. We offered 15. We're doing 15 minus 20%, so you can get this at $12 right now. And if you want all those Warline variants, I'll cut you guys in on the deal for that. We got the Stan Yak variant, and Stan, he also worked on the Last Ronin.
Yeah.
That he also did a really great series called Broken Gargoyles, which is phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. Really great artist. And this is a 51 out of 100 right here. 51 out of 100.
Chris Stiles is hilarious. The Warline 2 cover A should just be Chuck's face yelling, "I run Sector 2687!"
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He's the one who instilled the law that only food restaurants over there can be Culver's. Like
Instead of
it's Taco Bell, but in Chuck's Sector 2687, it's Culver's.
Instead, who the hell is it? America, Uncle Sam. Instead of posters of Uncle Sam, it's Uncle Chuck just pointing, saying, "I want you."
Actually, I don't think you'd point. I think you'd flick everybody off. I'm just going to
I want you for Section 2687.
All right, we got the cover D. Stan Yak cover. That's going for $12 right now. Normally 15. We're doing it at 12. All right. We're going to be doing a family movie.
Eddie's got a great question.
Yeah, absolutely, Eddie. You guys can all claim after the show. Hit me up anytime. This is just out here for you guys. I'll still honor that 20% deal. If you mention that you saw the prices on this show, I'll hook you up. That's no problem at all. I want your business, and I want you guys to be happy, and I want you guys to get something. So the last Warline variant that I have for now is the foil variant. This was something we printed up for San Diego Comic-Con. Originally, I wasn't going to have these variants, period. I wasn't going to do this. I had to scramble together for San Diego Comic-Con because I just couldn't get my mass printing of Warline in on time. The books arrived like 2 weeks later. And I was just dealing with so much at this time. It was actually a couple days before my divorce actually went through that we sent off the files to get this cover printed. I didn't have a cover concept, and I was really sick and tired of using the same cover. So I got on the phone with Sean McCardle, a good friend of mine and another really talented creator, who's actually the guy that connected me to Dexter, who's the artist of Warline. And I said, hey, I don't know what to do with my cover. I'm lost. I was trying to color another cover, but the concept just wasn't working for me. And I gave up on it. I was just really upset. I was really just in a low spot. And Sean's like, you know what you should do? You should take this cover art, which is actually flipped and a part of a page sequence within the book itself. It's actually this page right here, page 35. And this image became, I just loved it so much that, and Dexter loved it so much too. He was talking about this being a banner.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of leaning towards that as our image at cons. But what's really great about it was Sean was saying, just flip it and do a foil. I was like, okay, and I did it. So we did pretty well at San Diego Comic-Con. I did not number these, but these are limited to a print run of only 100 copies. And I'm down to less than 30. I mean, I sold through a lot of these at San Diego Comic-Con. And I was actually kind of happy that I didn't sell through all of them, because then I could come back home and hold on to them for a little bit and sell them on the next Kickstarter, because our Kickstarter had just ended, so this wasn't even offered on the Kickstarter campaign. We got the foil going for $25, but because of our 20% discount, I'm going to knock $5 whole off. You can get this at $20 right now. $20 for the Warline foil variant. I can sign it for you. I highly recommend with the variants, at least, that if you have them signed, if you want to get them graded or whatever, I think it would be better for me to sign them when we meet in person. Or if you just want to keep it for yourself and you just want me to sign it, that's cool. It's just that CGC can't verify my signature on it for you if you decide to get it graded, which these are the books that you're going to want to get graded because of the limited print runs and all that stuff. Yeah. So just let everybody know.
Madness Comic Network is in the house. What's up? Tom Kelly's in the house. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Tom Kelly is here. He's saying, sad I missed it. You didn't miss anything. You're right here. We're here. We're only 20 minutes into this madness or craziness. Madness. I just immediately jumped to that.
Right.
Madness Comic Network. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Next book we got here is Dexter Wee's variant. This is Dexter, our Warline artist. He did a Yisun Shin cover for us. This is Yisun Shin Warrior and Defender #1. This is the Dexter Wee variant, and this was actually edited by Chuck too. This is number 63 of 100. This is the first variant we've ever done of the first issue of Yisun Shin, which is a pretty big deal for us. That's not something that we, I did for a long time. It took me 12 years of being in this business to finally make that decision to do variants on this book, and it was just the right time to do it. So I really like this cover. Chuck, I think you picked this up during the Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. It's funny. Madness said it's okay to call me Pops. Pops, I'm never sure. I wasn't sure if it was you because I know that you guys have lots of people on the Madness Network. So I'm never sure if it is you hanging out or if someone else has popped in. But Pops, it's good to see you, man.
Pops, is that you who texted me too? I think I got text by Pops. Yes, I did.
Oh, sweet.
Wishing me a Merry Christmas. So, Pops, I'm wishing you a
Merry Christmas, Pops.
Yeah, thanks for checking in.
Yeah.
Joseph Hardy's in the house. We got a nice full house here. This is great.
Dude.
Having a good time here. All right, the next book I got here is the Onvu variant of Yisun Shin Warrior and Defender. Chuck, you've worked with Onvu too, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, no, I haven't worked with her, but I mean, certainly seen her work, love her work.
She's fantastic. And the time when I hired her to do this cover, it was just such a, I got lucky that I could get her at that time. Yeah. She did such an amazing job with this cover. And the thing about it was she just wanted to do it. She was she didn't even give me an option. She's like, I want to do a cover for Yisun Shin. You're going to let me do a cover for you. And I'm like, hell yes, I'm going to let you do a cover for me.
Isn't that the best?
And that is the best. And she just put so much of her own research. This is very much Onvu's take on Yisun Shin. So if I would have hired her to be the artist of the book, this is what the book would have looked like for sure.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the way she draws the ships here, if you really look at the closer details, which I know they're kind of hard to see here, I mean, she just really spent a lot of time researching Yisun Shin. You could see the research that went into this image, because it's not derived from our comic at all, really.
No.
I mean, it's its own thing in a lot of ways, and I really like that.
Yeah, that's so badass, dude. I love her work.
She is fantastic. Yeah. All right, well, we're doing this one again. $12. We got only 100 in existence. I don't bring this one with me to cons very much because it's not one of those covers that has the big grab appeal. You really got to study this cover in order to appreciate it. And that's not to say anything about the art. It's just when I have variants on the table, I don't really go out of my way to pitch them. I expect them to kind of sell themselves. That's kind of the way it works. And I know what works for me at cons, and this is just me being honest with everybody. You know, cosplay covers, Marissa Pope covers, Steph Wilson covers. Like, this is the stuff that is gonna just grab people's attention at a con. And they're just gonna come and grab it because they want to see the boob books. Sorry, but it's the truth. Everybody likes boobs. But this is a cover that it's like, this is for the connoisseur here, the true historian and an appreciator of history. And I don't know if, I've never seen this book really, come get grabbed at the cons. But again, the art is really sensational here, and you can grab it now for $12. Can't get it anywhere else. So $12 on the Onrie cover. Chuck, were you going to say something and I cut you off? Or?
No. I was chatting with Dexter real quick.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, awesome. Is he coming? Is he joining us?
He's cooking right now, so he might.
Okay, cool. He's cooking right now, huh?
He's probably cooking breakfast, knowing he's in the Philippines.
I forgot. I had originally invited him to, to come on the show, and I just, my mind got wiped.
It's the holidays.
It's the holidays, exactly. I have the Marissa Pope variant now of Yisun Hunter and Destroyer 2. That's issue 10. And this was actually Chuck's entry point into the series.
Yep.
And I love how these books turned out. They just turned out so great. We had Heroes and Villains printing out, and Phoenix print these books up for us. They did a really great job. This is copy 42 out of 100 of the Marissa Pope variant of Yisun Hunter Destroyer number 2. Normally goes for 15. We're doing it for 12 right now. And then I have the Annie Mia variant of Yisun Hunter Destroyer 2. This one's also going to go for $12. She is so gorgeous. My God. She's absolutely stunning. And she's such a cool person. She's actually a comic book writer, too. She's done.
Is that her Wakazashi?
No, that's Annie Mia.
No. I mean the sword. Is that her Wakazashi? Her short katana?
I don't know. She did. This girl did a lot of work, and she was really professional, man. I would hire her again in a heartbeat. So she got this backdrop over here. She ordered that on Amazon. Then she had to buy everything for the robe, and I think that that's probably a dagger she uses with another.
Cosplay
with another cosplay. I don't know the Japanese name for what was it called?
It's a Wakazashi. That's the short it's the short sword version of the katana.
Wakazashi. All right, cool. I didn't know that. There you go.
I'm a big sword nerd.
No, well, dude, yeah. I never really learned much about weapons. I was mostly I did Taekwondo, but we didn't really use weapons.
Yeah.
We were just kicking and punching each other all day. So we have the Annie Mia. We had the Annie Mia variant here, and she did a lot of extra work in order to get into character for this, and I really appreciated what she did. And she was just really great to work with, and I just love the process. She kept me up to speed on everything. She did research on the book. She actually read the entire series, got herself acclimated with what she was actually cosplaying. And I was like, man, she's really takes her job seriously. And I met her at conventions afterwards, and she's just awesome. We had conversations, and she's trying to become a full-time comic book writer. She's really putting an effort down. I saw one of her Facebook posts recently that she's setting aside one day a week just focused to writing, and it's that's how you do it. And you turn you turn it into a one-day thing that becomes a 5-7 day job. Takes a long time, but it can happen. And she's already done it. She's already doing it with her cosplay stuff. So I think this is a great transition for her, and I wish her the best of luck.
Yeah.
So we've got the Annie Mia variant here going for just $12. And Chuck, I hate to ask you to hang out here if I'm just going to be showcasing these books. If I didn't want to I feel bad having you just sit there. You know what I mean? I'm sorry I'm not engaging with you directly.
No, we're chatting, and I get to chat with the audience and stuff. We're good.
Cool, awesome, man. I really appreciate you being here. I'm in all honesty, I'm not really used to it. It's like it's weird for me, because I know I have JD on the experience, but like, um, like that's something that like the experience puts together. So it's not something like I know he's taken care of in a kind in a way, and I just appreciate you being here to like hang out while I'm slinging.
Oh, dude, I'm glad. And you know what? Actually, I'm gonna do this for you. Ed Weird made us a song, so I'm gonna sing it.
Oh, all right, go for it.
Onrie, the Jewish Santa, putting on a comic show. What's up with those sunglasses? Are you a blues brother? Whoa!
I don't know.
Then one fun-filled Christmas night, an elf popped in to say, "I'm Chuck and I give a fuck. Put those comics on the sleigh." Nice job, Edward. That's great.
I got a great question that you can answer, Chuck. Leonard Pig is asking us, what current comic title would you guys love to work on?
Watch us in 2024. That's Leonard. That's all I can tell you. We have a major comic title that we are actually pitching. We have an edge on, and we've got a team together and we're pitching it. So actually, I'm gonna say we can't talk about it right now because we seriously already have stuff written. We have some art started for it. So that's all I can kind of say right now. Leonard, I hope to have some cool news to you very soon. But yeah, that's all we can say right now is we've got something.
Jamie Newbold's in the house. Jamie, how you doing? Jamie actually really saved my ass this year at San Diego Comic-Con. So I ended up in kind of like an unfortunate setting in small press. I didn't realize it. It was all kind of like a last-minute deal. And it got me on the floor of the convention, but the arrangement wasn't really good. I didn't have the ability to work at the capacity that I'm normally used to when I go to conventions. And my neighbors were not really happy with the way I was standing in front of my table. And that can happen from time to time. But San Diego Comic-Con is one of those shows where the small press is so pushed together. Like every other part of that floor is spaced out, but for some reason they just really smush everything together in small press. And it's really hard for creators to get people to even walk down these aisles because people are just going in so many other places. So especially on a night like Wednesday, like a preview night, it was really hard. But anyway, it was not a situation that was working out for me. I didn't have any space to literally sell because I had got half a space and I thought I could make it work, but I had like 16 really heavy boxes of comics behind me. And so I reached out to Jamie and I asked him if he would help me out with subletting me some space at his table, and he was kind enough to do it. And if he didn't do that, San Diego Comic-Con would have just been a total bust for me. And luckily I was able to work my way out of it thanks to the fact that he gave me the opportunity. So Jamie, Merry Christmas to you, and thank you for everything you've done for me for all of the years that I've been doing San Diego Comic-Con. I don't think I could be where I am right now if you didn't extend yourself to me when I first started out in the business. Jamie's been hosting me since 2011, and he's just been a really gracious host and friend. So Merry Christmas to you. All good things to you in 2024 with your shop, man. Southern California Comics. If you're in the area, be sure to stop by. They got a great shop. They host a lot of independent creators. I know Christy Shin does a lot of signings over at Southern California Comics, Mog Park. Like the crew gets out there. So and Jamie has an incredible collection, like one of the most vast collections of any comic shop. All right. Next book we got here is the Steph Wilson variant, and Chuck is very familiar with this guy.
I am.
They screw around with each other a lot.
We do. We love to yank each other's chains. He's a lot of fun, and everything he does is fun. Like that's his style. Is I don't want to take myself too seriously. I want to have fun. I want to draw something that's sexy, but not creepy sexy. He wants it to be fun, sexy, and that's exactly what he did here.
Yeah. And hey, she's got a wakizashi.
Yeah, she does.
The funny thing is that honestly, I just let these artists do what they were doing, and I didn't check them for like historical accuracy. I would say the one that I worked the closest with on that was Annie Mia. She was the one who like really wanted to get into the role of what she was doing. But like in the comics, Ginny's using like a butcher knife, like what they would just use in the kitchen. Like she's not using a special knife or anything like that. Like she is just she's not able to access that kind of weaponry. Like that stuff is, handed down to you. You don't just like take it off the street.
Yeah. And it's a variant cover. Let them have fun. Let them work to the best of their ability.
Their vision. But this was great because, like, even though she's, not using that, it should have been a kitchen knife. It looks so much better with the wakizashi, And the thing about it here, it's like I really had to let go with this one. I mean, this is the most controversial cover I've ever done, and it almost got me into some trouble, to be honest with you. Like, I had comments from people in Korea who were like, "What does this have to do with Yi Sun-shin?" And I'm like, it's.
What you say is, have you ever tried selling a comic in North America? Then that's enough out of you.
Well, that's a good answer, but at the same time, our responsibility is not just to sell comics, right?
Well, yeah.
When I'm doing this book, because I put my name behind it, it's to honor people of Korea, because like if they feel insulted by the work, and there are, I'm sure, plenty of people who are insulted by the work I've done on Yi Sun-shin. I understand. I'm sorry I've offended you, but it's like, to your point, Chuck, it's like try and sell a book in North America. I mean, the first thing I was told when I originally wanted to do Yi Sun-shin, originally I didn't want to have any female characters at all in the book. There was nothing there, and that's why the book got rejected by every single U.S. publisher. They all said, we don't want it. It's not going to sell. If you don't have any female characters in your book, it's just not going to sell. And it's boring. You got a whole bunch of dudes talking to each other. That's it. And there was nothing about the story that designed it to be a male-only cast. Like, there are certain movies that I think can pull that off really well. Like Master and Commander was one of those movies. And another one that was really great that I saw recently was the one with Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. What was that movie?
The Lighthouse?
The Lighthouse. There's no women in that entire movie. I mean, there's maybe one woman that shows up at one point, but that is predominantly an all-male cast. Like
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs, yeah. So originally I didn't even have plans to include women in the book at all. Nothing. It was just going to be, men at war. But, then as I was doing my research, like I discovered Yi Sun-shin had like concubines and shit. Like these are the end of times for Korea, and sometimes, you just got to get some of that action going. So you know what I'm talking about, Chuck?
Oh, yeah. Holiday lovin'. Holiday lovin'.
Circle.
Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, the only women in Shawshank Redemption, basically, are the posters.
Well, his wife in the beginning, she was giving.
Oh, yeah. And then his posters. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good pick, Ed. Good pick.
Well, that was my original intention. And then I also wanted to make it 60 issues. And I remember pitching that idea to Mort Castle, who was college. He taught a college course on comics writing at the school I went to, Columbia College of Chicago. There were no comic classes taught back then, and they only started getting offered when I was in my second semester of senior year, when I was like pretty much like just playing Final Fantasy 11, and like getting stoned every day. And I was just not in. I didn't sign up for the class, so I actually had to reach out to him after I graduated. And I said, hey, Mort, can you help me out here? And I told him my original idea for Yi Sun-shin. He's like, this is terrible. No one's going to want to read this for like 50 or 60 issues. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? And he read the rest of it, and he goes, there's not a battle until the 6th issue? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? He's like, you got to tighten this up. You got to keep it like 4 issues max. And I was like, well, that's a little too tight. I was like thinking maybe more like 12. And he was like, all right, well, you're really pushing it. And we've made it work, but it was thanks to them that I really chose to condense the series. Both Mort Castle and Len Straczewski, and Len was also a huge help too. He was a great editor and really kicked my ass and did everything.
Edward is he's got to start his movie night, but he wants to know how much for the circle cover and the crypt.
$12, and then the crypt's going for 15. We're gonna get to the crypt in just a minute. So crypt is going for 15. This one's 12. That would be 27 for the pair.
Yeah. So Edward, if you're interested, 27 for the pair, and if you want them signed, let us know. We'll sign them for you.
Yep.
Well, he'll sign them for you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Chuck.
Of course.
Edward, I'm gonna just let me know, and I'll take that copy down, and I'll do it for you. And then I got this Dexter Wheat foil here. This is only limited to 25 copies. We did this at the end of our Kickstarter. This is our first foil ever, and it's for Eastern Shin Hunter and Destroyer 2.
That's probably one of my favorite Yisun Shin covers, like across the board.
It is great. I really love it. And this was the first image Dexter ever did. I absolutely love it. He did such a great job with this. Man, it took a lot to get this book back up and running again, but it feels good now. I'm really excited about what we're doing with Chuck Sin and everything like that. We already talked about it on the what was it, Small Business Saturday show we did on the XP, and I'm looking forward to all the stuff that we're going to be doing with that. Moving more cool historical stuff into the last 2 issues of Eastern Shin.
So he says one of each, sign them both, Merry Christmas, and don't write on the circles. And I think that's an attack on me because whenever I sign a Steph Wilson cover, I tend to sign their butts. And I put my little stamp right on their cute little butts because it's a perfect spot.
The tramp stamp.
Yeah. I give them a little butt stamp because for anyone who's seen my signature before, it's just like a little stamp symbol. And so I always put it right on their butts. Yeah. Good night, Edward. Always great seeing you, homie. Merry Christmas. And
Merry Christmas. Thank you so
that's
much.
Coming out to you.
And Edward, be sure to come back later because there's another book I think you'll like that I can add to your pile. And it's a good one. All right.
Just watch the rest of it afterwards if you come back and we're done.
Yes. You can call stuff later. So Edward gets copy 42 of 100 of the Steph Wilson variant here. This is great. It's off to you, my friend.
He says, show the picture there, or show the book. They're in the bathroom right now. He's like, show me the book, quick.
Here you go, dude. Sign right there.
No. He said the one that he might be interested in. He's like, show quick.
Cool. So this is a werewolf book that I edited. It's called Lycan, Solomon's Odyssey, and it's about this. It's about the first werewolf in history. And
oh, cool.
I edited this, and I really enjoyed working on it. I only worked on the first issue, but I have issue 2 available because, obviously I worked on this and I'm supporting the series. The pair, issues 1 and 2, these are thicker books too. I think each one gets thicker. It's kind of weird how he's planning to do it, but this one's 68 pages, and I think this one's 72. It's all just great. He really puts together big books here. He's been doing really well. He's been doing a lot of cons. These are going at 15 a piece, but if you grab them together, I'll do it for 30. So, or sorry, not 30, 25. For 30.
He said he already bought them.
Oh, he got them both? Okay, cool.
He bought those, yeah.
All right.
That's funny though. That's such a perfect. They're 15 apiece, but you know what? Tonight I'll do them both for 35, just for you. Okay? You're welcome. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Hey, Chuck, we're asking what Jews do on Christmas.
I wasn't gonna make the joke. I'm so glad you did for me. I gotta be a good boy.
It is my obligatory right as a Jew.
Pretty often.
We can't laugh at ourselves. Who can we laugh at?
Right, I agree.
Your copy of Tales from the Crypt, and then these Tales from the Crypt books. I'm going to get to them in a moment here. And basically, we're going to just end the show as soon as I go through the entire catalog, because you guys can just order from me later on. And there's really, I kind of want to get back to hanging out. You can see I got the Santa Claus hat and the sunglasses. This is what I've been wearing all day. I'm just screw it. Screw it all. Screw it all, my lord. All right. And Nita, I signed your copy of Warline, so here you go. Here's your copy of Warline signed. Don't bag and board this and hook you up with a bookmark. Everybody who shops with me tonight gets a bookmark as well. It is a Kickin and Warline bookmark. I don't have them out there. I do have them there, so I will. You may have seen them already. Okay, we did that. Next up, we got a really, really cool book here. We have the Warline C2E2 variant here. This is a black, white, and red cover here, limited to only 30 copies in existence. This is like one of my only raw copies left in stock. All right, we got a couple of these slabbed here, and we got a slab up there, but we got this raw copy here. I'm doing this for $50 tonight, minus 40%. So we'll do 50 minus 40%. Sorry, 20%. That'll be $10 off. You get this at $40.
Nice.
$40. And I'll sweeten the deal because I really want to make this sale here. I'll do it for $30.
Is that the one signed by all three of us, or was that just signed by you?
That's signed by all three of us.
Yeah.
That's a triple signed book. And actually, I didn't sign it yet, so I'm signing it here now. There you go. You got your authenticity. These were all signed by Chuck and Frank Luzon, the guy who did the cover for this. And you guys have seen me before talk about Frank, but normally I don't bring these books out on my sales shows. I have so much other stuff to sell through. I just keep them for cons and stuff, and I'm not going to be upset if it doesn't sell tonight. That's not a big deal. But I'll do
it. They'll get sold.
Yeah, if it gets sold, that's cool. Because hey, pretty much everything that we're selling tonight is going towards paying for coloring on Warline 2 and going towards our print bill for the reprint of Warrior Defender graphic novel. I need to clear this stuff out so that we can kind of go, so we can afford to do that stuff. And that's I might do another one of these events in the future if you guys want to. If you guys want me to put something together like it.
That cover in particular, guys, I'm so happy with that one because that gave me the most pleasured pain I've probably ever had. And that is, at one point I'm going, damn, my wrist, because I had to sign so many damn covers of that. And at one point I'm laughing, and Onrie looks over at me and he goes, "What's going on?" I was like, I was about to bitch about my wrist hurting from signing so many covers, but Chuck from 5 years ago would be telling me to shut the hell up because he'd be so proud of the fact that we're signing like 100 or 200 freaking copies of a book. So yeah,
absolutely, 100%. The
next the best pain.
Those books. We in fact there's a Chuck signing them, and this is the Dexter Wee variant that we did for C2E2. So this was a standard variant. We were doing this one at $20, and it sold through very well. We have I think we left the show with like maybe 20 left, and then we put them up on our Kickstarter, and we sold through a couple. So I'm down to like maybe I think 10 or 12 or something like that. It's just a really ridiculously low number here. But I'm going to do it for just $15 tonight. I'll take that 20% off. Normally I would charge 20 on this. I'll do it for 15. And the thing that was interesting about C2E2 was I was only planning on having that one variant at the show. I didn't want to double down and get multiple variants until Frank Luzon got on my case. And I mean, he didn't give me a choice to work. It wasn't a choice of whether I was working with this guy. I was working with this guy because he was giving me his rate, and I'm like, Frank, give me a great rate, but I just can't afford to bring you on right now. I don't have the money. I am strained, and I just can't do this. And he comes back to me and he goes, Onrie, I'm going to give you the art, but you're going to give me copies. And I'm just like, all right, that'll work. So I came up with copies of the book that he was selling at C2E2, and then he took back. And he was a visionary with it. He was like, how do we get this to be something that we can make we can give our customers multiple options? It wasn't just like, let's just have multiple things here. Let's give our customers something special. Let's give them some options. And that's how the black and white red cover actually came about. And he saw that from the colored version of the cover. So this is the original cover. We actually did 70 copies of this book here, and we were charging $35 for it at the con. And I think 35 minus 20%. 35 minus 20%. That's going to bring you down to just $28. I'll just round it down to 25. It's 25 for that cover today, and this is just one of 70. One of 70, and it's also triple signed by myself and Chuck. I just forgot to find
and Frank Guzan.
And Frank Guzan too, who's actually based in Israel right now.
Yeah.
And you guys know I'm Jewish, so you might have an idea of where I stand with everything that's going on politically right now. I stand grounded in my basement selling you guys comics. But Frank is actually in the middle of what's going on right now. And he has a family, he has children, and he has to spend a lot of money to come into the United States just to do cons. He's doing this because he loves this industry. He wants to be a part of this industry. He makes very good money with what he's doing, but this is where his passion is, and his job gives him the opportunities to come and travel and do this. He can't do conventions right now because of what's going on. And I just want to send good energy in his direction because no matter where you stand on any spectrum, the last thing I would wish for anybody is to have a situation of extreme violence and just outside their home. So if you guys could send good energy, I understand we all have our stances on things, but everybody deserves a chance at life. So just letting that.
And guys, the work speaks for itself. Look at that. Like, you can tell that he's passionate about it because those are gorgeous covers.
He charged me for the art. Like, that's why I didn't have a choice. It's like, that's how bad I told you guys this. Yeah, it's personal information. It's not something I should share. And nobody else should be taking on that deal with him unless he agrees to it. Here was the situation. He just wanted to get on this book. He believed in Warline that much. Yeah. He just wanted to throw something together. And we made it work. And we sold the books. And here's the thing. I know how hard it is for him to get that stuff together, but he's trying to build out his portfolio. And you know what he did? He handed me his portfolio and he said, hey, man, spread this out for me. Let other people know that I'm out there. Talk about what I'm doing here so that I can get some more paid work. That's how you break in this business. It's not about just like exposure. I didn't ask him I didn't tell him like, hey, Frank, I'll give you good exposure if you give me this art. He offered the art to me, but he did it out of his own decision. Like, for him, the money doesn't matter. What matters is breaking into the business. And that's the mindset that you kind of have to have. And it's a mindset that I've actually had to adapt myself to. And in a lot of ways, Chuck, I think you've helped me with that because, part of the reason why I get mad at cons sometimes is because it's hard being out there constantly pitching people, constantly getting rejected. And let me tell you, Chicago's not a kind city. When people reject you in Chicago, it's a special kind of sting. And I get why it's like that here. This is the perfect training ground for any salesperson in Chicago. If you're walking down the street in Chicago, you're constantly being solicited to by someone. And if you think about what those guys go through on a daily basis, just constantly getting shut down, to talk about, global warming here. Let me tell you about this newspaper here. People just don't stop. They just keep walking. They're not even paying attention. You can't even get them to stop because they're just on the go. Well, that's kind of how it is at C2E2 at times. And it's just a Chicago thing. Well, it's also a New York thing, too. It's just every big city has that philosophy of Big Seattle's a little bit different because they're all up in the mountains and stuff. And they're just, they have more to
Tell me if I'm wrong, though, here, Onrie. Guys, he's right. Chicago's tough. It's tough getting rejected there. and you will hear it. But
Up,
I think
up. We got Dexter
we
Wee
got-
in the house. Hold on, we gotta take the solo. Dexter Wee.
That's the art.
How do you like that introduction, Dex?
He does a lot of videos about referencing.
How do
I
you
don't know
like
if he can hear us.
Oh, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I was taught to lightbox in art class.
I don't think he can.
Damn it. I kind of wish I could have had like a Dexter Wee introduction. That would have been awesome.
Right?
You see like explosions and like unicorns and like what else would be little like naked angels, like Dexter Wee. You just see like an entire. Dex, can you hear us? Say something.
Nah. Yeah, I don't think he's. But what I will say real quick, because I do have to actually bolt pretty soon. My phone's getting pretty low. But what I was going to say is, and tell me if I'm wrong. Oh.
Yeah. No, go ahead. You're there we go.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but it's hard enough getting rejected in New York, in Seattle, in anywhere else, Orlando. But
New York, you kind of
getting yeah. But Chicago is not only a tough city, but for you, it's also the hometown. So it's even more difficult to get shot down in your hometown by a city that can reject you hard. So that's got to be a double sting on you. And I've always thought about that. Like that's rough. I think that's why those cons are a little tougher on you, because it is hometown.
It is. It always has been. Historically, it's one of the most difficult shows I do every year.
Yeah.
But I've had some pretty succmental. I don't think I've ever had. And again, it's really just my mental, fabricated sense of what success at a show is. I'll tell you this right now. There's not a single convention I've done in the last 13 years where I haven't made money. I've always come out ahead at every single convention that I've ever done, no matter the situation. But the thing about it is, this is a matter of how high up am I past the black, because I can't do this full time if it's not paying for itself at the very least.
Yeah.
But that's a show I've always made money at, and also don't have to spend so much money to do. And I just think I was probably in the mental space that I was in by the time I got to Sunny, because it was also like my third show in a row. Like I did Emerald City Comic Con, and then I did Planet Comic Con, I did Cleveland, and then I did Chicago. That's like 4 freaking conventions back to back to back. And it's like when you don't have that time in between, you get kind of exhausted and your patience starts to wear thin, especially like when you're at that last show on the last day. And that's kind of where I was. And it was in the show that I could like sell out, pack up, and go home. It was something I was going to have to stick through to the end. And I was always dreading everything about it, like the breakdowns and the setups and everything. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see. Like the convention for me is actually, that's a 5-day work week, because I got to get in on Thursday, to set up for a Friday show. And then I got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right, so it's 4 days. But then you factor in the day that I spend actually packaging up stuff to get to the show, because I'm not packaging up like 20 books here. We're talking about 1,000 books per convention. So that's a 5-day work week. And then if I'm doing like New York Comic Con or something else, that's 6 or 7 more days. It gets to be a lot. But those 2 of those work days or one of those work days is usually not a paid day. It just all goes into the expense of having done the show. So fair. I wish I got paid an hourly fee.
Right.
I wish I could have.
Dex, it was really good seeing you. I do have to run. I'm sorry, guys.
No problem.
But
no problem, Chuck.
You boys have a freaking awesome time. Dexter, thank you so much. Merry Christmas, homie. Have a great holidays, everybody, and buy a shit ton of books. See you guys, everybody. My name is Chuck, and I give a fuck.
Love you,
Take
Chuck.
care. Love you, homie. Talk to you soon. Merry Christmas.
Yes, sir. All right, Chuck is gone. Dex, I know you can't talk, but you can showcase. You can understand me, right? You can hear me. Can you nod if you can hear me? I still can't hear you. Yeah, we still can't hear you. But if you want to like chime in at some point, just feel free to do so. And I'm gonna keep showing books here. But like, if you get your volume working, let me know. And if you can hear me, just nod if you can hear me. Okay, you hear me. All right, perfect. Then here's what we're going to do right now, Dex. We're going to keep this nice and simple. You have some artwork from Moorline that you wanted to showcase. Why don't you show us the artwork right now? I'll talk about it. And then if you want to put in the comments what you want to sell it for, what we'll do is Dexter is going to charge you for the actual original art. After that, he's going to have to give us an idea of what it'll cost to actually ship it over here. And I will cover that, or I will invoice you on that cost, along with the art. And then shipping will just, once it gets to the U.S., actually, it'll go straight to you. So it'll just be a straight shipping cost from Dexter to you. It has no reason to come to me. He'll send it right over to you, and you'll get your art. We actually worked it out differently for the Kickstarter because, it just it didn't work out. I think he's trying a different. There he is. Dexter's in the house. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Take it away, sir. How you doing, man? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I'm using my phone.
Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. Well, Dex, I know you're with your family, so do you want to show us the stuff that you have for sale right now and maybe talk a little bit about it?
I don't have much art here. I have art from other projects, but
go ahead. Whatever you want to sell right now, go ahead and do it. Oh, yeah. That is a piece of art right there. Wow. Dexter, what are you hoping to get on this?
See it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. We're very familiar with this art here. This is the original art for page 35 of Warline #1. So what Dexter did was he actually drew this, and then he layered panels on top of it. And eventually he was able to layer Kia on top of all these guys getting their butts kicked by Warline. But in the actual interior of the book, I'm going to do a split screen here for a second. I'll show you guys. And the actual book itself, Warline is fighting these guys by himself. He doesn't have Kia helping him out there. And I really enjoyed working on this scene. I'm really proud of this. Warline turned out great, but the art, and it's all thanks to Dexter. I mean, he just does such great work on this book, and I can't wait to have him finish up issue 3 for us. So Dexter, what do you want to make on that original art?
Maybe around $400.
$400 on that. That is a good asking price on that. So it'll be $400 plus shipping on that. And Dexter, I'm sure will hook you up with some, with signature, something, whatever you guys need. I'm sure Dexter will work with you guys on having it. And $400, I know that's a big ask right now, so probably we're not going to get anybody who's going to jump on that immediately. But we are going to keep this out there for you guys. If anybody's interested, just message Dexter or myself. This is going straight to the man himself. He's got a family. He just wants to sell through some of this art here, have a little extra cushioning, in order to get the year started. He's a hardworking dude, and he's willing to put up some original Warline art for you guys. We're all just trying to make an extra buck right now. It's that time of year. But you guys can always message us too afterwards, because I'm sure Dexter would be more than happy to do business with you and hook you up with that art. So we got page 35 of Warline #1 going for $400. Dash, how are you doing, sir? Good to see you. Dash runs a show on the Comic Book Shopping Network. Most of you guys, I'm sure, are familiar with him. He is a monster on the live sales platform for the Comic Book Shopping Network. Really solid dude. Oh, thanks, Dash. Dash really likes your artwork. So Dexter here is not telling you something, guys. Was recently had his portfolio reviewed by CB Cebulski, who is the editor in chief of Marvel, and CB really liked Dexter's artwork. And Dexter is somebody that I have great faith in, and you guys want to see what success in comics looks like. You're looking at it right now. Right now, you are seeing it. This guy is the next superstar artist. I say this because I have a proven track record of this. Giovanni Timpano was the artist who worked on the first few issues of Eastern Shin. He went off and he's now working for Activision, drawing comics for them based off of Call of Duty. It's his full-time gig. He works for Activision. He has a career over there. El Arneclius, who did the remaining issues of Eastern Shin, he is now working for Legendary Pictures. This guy is a craftsman. He is a workaholic, and he is a great sequential artist. This guy can tell a story in art. So I'm telling you guys, if CB is saying the same thing that I'm saying to you right now, you're going to want to jump on this original art because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Dexter, can you hold up page 35 for me again? I remember being at Ted Sikora's house earlier in March, and he was showcasing some of the original art he picked up. He had a piece from Todd McFarlane. It was a page from Amazing Spider-Man, I think 314, the issue where, not 314, it was the issue where Spidey fought Mysterio, 311 maybe. Anyway, he had this art there, and I'm like, how much did you get this art for? He was like, it was a couple $100 when I bought it. But now a piece of art like that is worth thousands of dollars. And it all started with just, being the artist on Spider-Man. Dexter is going places, like I said, and this is a chance to own some of his original art on Warline for a pretty good price. You never know what can happen, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm pushing for very hard with Warline going into 2024. I have very big ambitions for this project, and I have very big ambitions for myself as a creator, and so does Dexter. So we're going places, guys, and this is a chance for you to own a really amazing piece of original artwork for what I think is a steal, $400. That is a great deal. All right, Dex, thanks for showing that. I just wanted to tell that story. You can show us another piece.
I have here sleeping arts if they like Venom. They want.
Oh, okay, you got Venom here. Sweet. So Dexter's done some other stuff. And look at that Venom. I mean, I'm telling you guys, he's going to be on covers soon. Beautiful.
More like what? 50.
They want $50. Dexter just wants $50 on that Venom. $50 on the Venom.
Venom color.
And Dexter, keep in mind, just because people don't necessarily buy right now, that doesn't mean that they're not interested. They can come on later on. I'll reshare this post.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, so people are with their families and things like that. But I think that there is definite interest in what you have here. So just keep showing. Oh, that's a Shazam cover here. That's cool.
Shazam.
That's awesome.
And one's Cable.
Awesome. How much are you doing those for?
Yeah, 50 will do.
So 50 on each of these. That Cable's awesome. I think I know somebody who would want that Cable. That is gorgeous. Hold that up again for us, the Cable. That is gorgeous.
It's another Cable.
That is awesome. Can you hold that other one up again? I just want to see it again. So Dexter, here's a question for you. If you had a choice of what Marvel character you would work on, like what would be your ideal Marvel character that you would work on?
I love Venom, Spider-Man. They're so dynamic to draw. X-Men.
Awesome.
The 90s costume.
Yeah, right on, man. Well, I could totally see you on X-Men. You would be a great fit for X-Men. And I think Warline is a great showcase of that. It's really awesome. That Thanos is sweet, and I love how you colored this. What did you use for the colors on that? Did you use a color pencil?
Can't hear you well.
Oh, did you use color pencil for the art?
Again. There's something wrong with the audio.
Oh, there's something wrong with the audio. Did you use color pencil, like for the color to color that? How did you color the image?
This one.
Yeah, how did you
Uh,
color it? Color it.
it's not color pencil. It's forgot the name of that. That chalk. They call that.
Oh, it's chalk. Okay, cool. That's awesome.
Not pastel. Not pastel. Other word. Yung parang it's like a powder.
Uh-huh.
It's actually like a powder, and then you just blend it like that.
Awesome. Dexter, what's your ask on that? 50 as well?
50 will go. Okay, no? 50.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been lying around here. So long.
$50 for original art from an artist that is going to be working over at Marvel very soon. Like very, very high chance of this happening. Look at this artwork here. This is absolutely insane. And I just want to point out, guys, shipping from the Philippines to you is not going to cost that much. We don't know what it is, so we can't like factor it in. But at this time, but it is one sheet of paper. And I will say I've gotten original artwork from Dexter before. All of you guys who got original artwork from the Warline campaign, you have received original art from Dexter, and he did a really good job of packaging all that stuff up and making sure it got to the U.S. Safe and sound. So this is something for you guys to really think about, and that is a beautiful Skeletor. God, I love it. Dexter, how much you want on the Skeletor?
This one is 80.
Mm.
One of my favorites.
Okay, cool. $80 on the Skeletor. And you guys can message me after hours if you want that art. Awesome.
This one is 50.
This one's 50. We got the Ghost Rider here. Which Ghost Rider is that? Is that Johnny Blaze?
Yeah, I think so. The 90s Ghost Rider. Who was that?
Cool.
The 90s.
50
I think.
Can you hold it up closer to us? Look at the detail on that, guys. $50 and this is yours. On original Dexter Wee art. Again, this guy is getting, swept off his feet by Marvel right now. Like, this has already happened. It's already underway. It's just a matter of time. He's got some really beautiful artwork here. This is a rising star over here. This guy's going to be doing all your Marvel books in the future, or maybe even DC. Who knows? Do not pass up on an opportunity to own original artwork from this guy for $50 freaking dollars right now. I cannot believe he's selling for so cheap. I mean, that is just insane here. Absolutely wonderful. Message me after hours. We'll work out a deal.
Another colored.
Oh, that's awesome. That is a detailed Superman. That even looks like Christopher Reeve. But you know what? You gave him his own. You made him look original to, like, you didn't cast him after anyone. Like he looked like he stands on his own. Dexter, what do you want for Superman?
100.
$100 on Superman. If we have any Superman fans out there, just reach out to me and let me know. And Dexter, did you use watercolor on that, or did you use the same chalk that you were?
This is watercolor. This is watercolor. This one ink wash.
All right, cool. Rocking. That's awesome.
I have here.
We got Black Widow over here. That's awesome. And
That's not Black Widow.
Oh, no. Who is that? 113?
That movie Underworld, Kate Basic.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Underworld. Sorry. That's awesome. That's a really cool image. How much you doing that one for?
It's only 60 because it's a little big. It's more bigger than the other artwork.
How much is this one?
60.
60. Edward, if you are watching this later, you are going to want to pay attention to that. That is so you, dude. That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Dexter. What else you got? Oh, that's badass. Oh, my God. That's so cool. How much you want on that?
80.
$80 on that Wolverine Cyclops after Jim Lee. How badass is that? Oh my God, Dex, that is so rad.
Homage.
So cool.
Homage to the Jim cover one.
Oh man, that is so cool. I didn't even know you did this stuff, man. This is so rad. That is so cool.
I drew this way back 2018.
My man, dude, you are the man. This guy is a total badass. Look at that cover for $80. It's yours. Call it after you see it. That's totally fine. I know it's original art. It's a big ass, but hit us up afterwards. We got you covered. Awesome, Dex. All right, what else you got?
I don't know if your viewers are familiar with this. This is Darna, our own local superhero.
Oh, okay, cool.
Drawn in
Is she in?
Cell and Turkish.
She was
It's
in.
like
DC, right? Dexter, I cut you off. What did you say? I'm sorry.
She's like Shazam. She's a simple girl living in the village, and then in order for her to transform into Darna, she has to swallow a stone, and then she has to yell Darna, and then she will transform into a superhero.
Oh, okay, cool, rad. That's awesome. How much you want on that?
50, same 50 lang.
Insane deals. Insane deals. Insane in the membrane. What else you
Anybody?
got? Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. This should Gal Gadot to your home. How much you want on the Wonder Woman, Dex?
This one is a big, maybe 150.
150, I agree. That's a watercolor, right?
Yes.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Gal Gadot this into your collection. Gal Gadot to your home. Go to your home. That's awesome. Beautiful. Message us after hours. Hit me up anytime. We will we'll make a deal for you. Dexter needs to sell this work.
Well, I don't have much pin up here. These are old comic books. Just want to share like this one. This is
Of
for
course.
Sean.
Oh, that's what you're doing with Werewolves of Babylon. So Sean McCardle, who is somebody I respect a lot. You guys have seen his work on our show from Fuhrer and the Tramp. He's actually how I discovered Dexter. Has a really awesome book coming out in 2024, and it is just look at this art. It is just so sick. And him and Dexter really knocked it out of the park together. They really just came together to put together a solid comic book experience, which Sean is really good at doing. If you guys have read Fuhrer and the Tramp, which is also going back to press, I'm so happy for that. This is beautiful work, Dex. Thank you.
Thank you. I brought your War Lion 2 pages, but I cannot
Yeah,
show
sure.
you.
Show us everything, man. We're here. There is no rush, dude. All right, thank you for being here, and I see you got your family in the background. We're not kicking you off, dude. This is your time.
This one is for Immortal Studios. I showed this to Cebulski.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that was the cover that was inspired by that X-Men #1 fold-out.
Yeah.
When they did that, and when Jim Lee did all those connecting covers in the '90s, that was cool. So he did that with the World Studios universe, and that is 2 pages from Warline #2. This is a pretty intense scene right here, and some of the finest artwork that Dexter has ever drawn. In fact, he was so proud of this that he wanted to frame it and hang it up himself. So Dexter, I don't even think you're selling this, right? You're just showing it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
showed this to
if
Cebulski.
someone was interested in buying this, what would you sell it for?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe 500? I don't know.
500. Okay, that's a good rate. I think 500 is fair. And
You know-
Dexter, you know what I'm going to say is you got such a bright future in this industry. There's another page from Warline too. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but not too much. We kind of know what's going to happen in this book. We know that Warlion's going to be fighting some guys here. How much you doing this one for, Dex?
Again, Rod?
How much are you going to sell that one for?
100?
Okay, cool.
I like it.
Or you were just showing off the page. You were just showing off the pages. I love that sequence, by the way. Such a great sequence.
I am enjoying this particular plot. The fights, you know, so energetic, so dynamic.
Yeah.
I don't know. This one I cannot show. Can you show them? No.
No, I don't. I don't think we should show any more Warline 2 stuff because we haven't like.
I have here the
Spoiler
copy of.
If you got a spoiler free page in there, that's fine. But just be careful because this issue. I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
I have here some fashion pages, some kung fu.
Okay, cool. Those are from Immortal Studios. That's awesome. Oh, that's cool. That's rad. Love that.
This one for Wolves of Babylon.
Awesome. Very cool, man.
I think that's all.
That's awesome.
The other pages here are from the other comic book project, like. Oh. This is from Patriot One.
Awesome.
I think that's all.
That is it.
Anybody know Shider?
That's cool.
It's my favorite Space Cup character way back in the 80s.
Are you selling that piece, or did you just draw it up?
Anybody wants to buy it? It's for $50.
$50. Okay, cool. And guys, if you have any interest in any of Dexter's stuff, just message me at a later point, and I will. I'll coordinate everything with you guys. Like, I have no problems doing that. Dexter, I'm going to wrap up this show. I just want to showcase everything real quick, and then I want to call it a night so I can get back to being a slob. I'll catch up with you soon. All right.
I'll have to take my breakfast.
Yeah, go eat your breakfast. Go have and Merry Christmas. And it's such an honor working with you. I have so much respect and admiration for what you do. Thank you so much, man. You're the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, see you later, man. What a guy. What a great team I have. I am so blessed for the people I get to make comics with. You know, both Chuck and Dexter, they're wonderful guys. And it's really great because they always answer the call to arms. Whenever I need them to help me promote or do something, they're always here to, showcase their stuff and do their thing. And, Dexter's working really hard. He's had some pretty, difficult. He's dealt with some pretty difficult things over the years. For those of you guys who don't know, his wife died right around the time of COVID because her appendix burst, but they couldn't see her in the hospital because of what was going on as a result of COVID. So it just totally, it was a very unfortunate situation, but he lost his wife, and he has since remarried, and he has another child now, and he's drawing and he's pushing forward. And I'm just so proud of this guy. He's just a really hardworking dude. He's fantastic. He's a wonderful role model for his kids. He's a wonderful artist. And I'm telling you guys, that is what makes for a success in this business, is when you're a good person, because people in the comic book industry want to work with people who are kind, responsible, and have good character. I think that's a really important thing. We take that for granted sometimes. And of course, you can't be universally liked by anyone. Even Stan Lee wasn't universally liked by everyone. In fact, I remember David Anthony Kraft, when he came into New York for New York Comic Con in 2019, I brought him out there for it. He came into town actually for the Stan Lee celebration. So they got him tickets to everything, but he just needed to get over there. So I helped him come over there, and he helped me sell books on one of the days at the convention. Well, anyway, I remember waking up very early that morning, and I had made a post about the fact that Dak was going to be doing a signing with me, and someone who was not a fan of Dak commented and said, "Oh, that guy was riding on the coattails of Steve Gerber and all this stuff," and it really pissed me off because it's like, I get you don't like this person, but he is here promoting something that he worked really hard on. It happens to be something that I worked on as well. So if you're dissing one of my team members, you're dissing me. I don't like you anymore. Well, I took it very personally, and Dak just shrugged his shoulders, and he's like, there's always someone like that out there. And it was really just that simple. I mean, you just kind of have to shrug it off. There are people who don't like me, and there are people I don't like, and it's just how it goes. But never badmouth a person in public. That's a poor thing to do, unless it's Robert Pattinson and he has it coming. All right. What's up, Elena? How you doing? Merry Christmas to you too. Merry Christmas from Germany. All right. So where we left off, I was showing off the Frank Guzan covers of Warline. Here we have the colored version, which is limited to only 70 copies. This is 67 out of 70. That was going for 35. I'm knocking it down to 25. And then we have the black, white, red variant, which I'm going to do for 30. Down from 50. And it's just to make the sale. And then finally, I have the Tales from the Crypt single issue. That's going to go for $10. So $10 on that. You guys can call this at any point after the show's over. I'm just going to get through the rest of what we have on the catalog, and then I'm ending this. Next up, I got these CGC slabs here. We have the color version that Frank did. This is 51 of 70, graded at a 9.2. This is going to go for $100. And then I have the 9.4 here of the black, white, and red. This is number 29 of 30. That's going to go for $150. So $150 on the black, white, red, $100 on the other one. These are books that I think I would sell at cons. So, I mean, I'm not like, it'd be nice if I could clear it out right now because, like I said, I have a lot of expenses with the colorist. Something I didn't tell you guys, I made a decision to replace the colorist on Warline number 2. So we have a new colorist now coming on for the second issue. The guy who worked on the first book, he's a very talented colorist, but his style was not exactly what I was looking for. And that's not to say that there was anything wrong with him as a colorist. He's very professional, always turned in the work and worked really hard. I just had a very specific vision for this book, and I needed to kind of make a last minute turn. And it really sucked because I had to eat some crow on it. Another thing about this business is if someone does work for you, you got to pay them. And Cody turned in the first 12 pages of Warline 2, and he worked really, really hard on it. He paid his flatter and, did everything he had to do. And I couldn't tell him, like, hey, you're off the book, bye. I had to pay him for the work he did. And so I'm not going to publish this work, but I still had to pay for it. And that kind of hit me a little bit. I mean, it's unfortunate, but this is what happens. It was unfortunate for both of us. That's why I don't like firing people. I always hate firing people. It's never fun. It's never fun because, you worry about what's going to happen next for them. And sometimes that departure can hurt you too. It's never an easy thing. Anyway, we got Josh Pantolaresco. What's up, dude? How you doing, man? I was really happy to meet you at San Diego Comic-Con this year. You're a pleasant dude. Anyway, yeah, so if anybody's interested in picking up those slabs, just let me know. You can hit me up afterwards. But going back now to the brighter side of everything, we got a new colorist on Warline. And he is now caught up with where Cody left off. He's got the first 12 pages colored. And it's really great. One of the things that's really nice is he's based in the U.S. So we actually got on a phone call on Christmas Eve, and we talked a little bit about what changes I wanted to make in the coloring. But honestly, I don't have to make many changes at all. This guy's just knocking it out of the park. I mean, he's going with what we established in that first issue, but he's really like amplifying a lot of things and like adding more detail and texture to like the characters and the backgrounds and everything, and it's really just leveling up the book entirely. So Warline 2 is going to be an experience, not just a comic book. Nothing we put out through my self-publishing outfit is ever unintentional. We've spent a lot of time working on these books. Warline 2 has been in production for 2 years. So we started working on it in 2022. It's 2023, and now we'll be releasing it in 2024. So that was 2 years that this book was in production, and it's a big book. It's 48 pages, and everything that is on that's in the interiors is intended to be there for a specific reason. And there are multiple themes that we're going to be playing on in the second issue, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this with you guys, because this is a very personal story to me. It's not just like a superhero book, or it's not my way of trying to say to Marvel, hey, here's my superhero book I want to write. I want you guys to hire me to write your superhero book. Sure, I'd love that to be the case, but this is my thing. This is something that I plan to always be pushing. I mean, you guys have seen me, sporting the Warline shirts. Some of you guys are sporting Warline shirts. So this is a thing for me. I have very big plans for the series, and I'm very proud of the work that has gone into it so far, and I'm excited for you guys to see what's coming next. So I already talked about Lycan, Solomon's Odyssey. This is another book that I edited. We have the first issue that was actually I completely sold out of this. I was able to just this is one of those books I could just bring to a convention, throw on my table, and it'll just sell. I don't have to pitch it. I don't got to do nothing. Because people like werewolves. This is just one of those things that just sells by itself. No one knows what a Eastern Shin is. No one knows what a Warline is. So I have to go out there and tell them. But everybody knows what a werewolf is. Gee, Onrie, maybe you should work on more licensed stuff. Working on it. All right, but anyway, we got Lycan, Solomon's Odyssey here, the first 2 issues. I can sign issue 1 for you because I was the editor of that. But I didn't work on issue 2. But I do know a lot about what happened in issue 2. So I'm excited about that. This is going to go for $25 as a pair. Normally it'd be $30. In fact, I'm just, unless you mention the Christmas show, I'm just going to sell this at $30 going forward. But $25 tonight. I got a few copies of issue 1 and a whole buckload of issue 2. I've just been kind of sitting on them. I don't know why. I've just been busy slinging other stuff, and my focus has been in other places. But that is a book that I should have showcased a long time ago. Well, thank you, Josh. I wish you the best in 2024 too, man. You're a solid dude. I really enjoyed meeting you at San Diego Comic-Con, and I hope to see you again in the future. I know you're based in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so next up, I got the tried and true deal if you're like a first timer, or if we met at a con and you were like, I can't buy this guy's books, but I got his bookmark. I got put on his mailer, and here, how do I buy his stuff? Most of you guys are going to go to the website, but in case you decide to buy it here, we have issues 1 through 4 of Yisung Shin, Warrior and Defender. Yisung Shin is about a Korean admiral that battled the Japanese in the 1500s. He was outnumbered 10-1, and he beat them 23 times in a row without ever losing a single battle. And this is all based on a true story. This is my signature comic book series. I've been working on this for a very long time, and going on 14 years now. And this is what puts a roof over my head, is Yisung Shin. So I go to conventions and I sling these books, and I bring big boxes of books and I sling away. So here's what I'm always offering. It's the same convention price. I offer it on all my shows, and I'll offer it here right now. I have the first 4 issues of Yisung Shin going for just $10 right now. You pick it up, I'll sign it for you, each copy, and I will bag and board it for you as well. And got that. You guys can call it after hours too. I've had people do that as well. Right now it's Christmas night. Everybody's just hanging out. I really want to kind of wrap this up too, so I can go back to hanging out. I was playing God of War Valhalla. I'm enjoying the heck out of that. But part of the reason why I decided to do this is because I needed to have a show going for tonight. And it's one of the things I kind of realized with like my live sales shows, like they need to just keep happening as often as I can get them going because, I took a lot of time off and it kind of detracts things too. So I'm just trying to keep that momentum going and just showing you guys that I'm here, that this is a dependable time to catch me, and I will always have something for you guys at this time. I am going to be off next week only, just because I'm going to be out of the country. I'm leaving this weekend on vacation. But when I get back from my vacation, this is a family vacation, so I'm taking my kids too. I will be back, and you guys are going to get a lot of Onrie in January. All right, next up, we have the sequel to Yi Sun Shin. So if you want Warrior and Defender, you might consider grabbing Fallen Avenger. This is issues 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we have Hunter and Destroyer, which would actually be issues 9 and 10. We actually started adding legacy numbering to our books, so if you get lost on where to go, you can always check the legacy number that's underneath that number 1. Why did we decide to go back to reissuing a number 1 after the first arc? Well, it's because it's a trilogy of books, and that's the first 4 chapters of the first arc. Fallen Avenger is the second arc, and Hunter and Destroyer is the third and final arc. Now I'm offering a really great deal here. If you decide you want to get all 10 issues of Yi Sun Shin right now, all 10 single issues are going to go for just $25. I will sign every single one of these comics, all 10 comics for you right here, right now. This is what I do. I love doing it. So call it as you see it, $25 for all 10 issues of Yi Sun Shin. And then if you're going to do that, you might as well add on Warline. Warline is about an old vigilante and his daughter going after the tyrant that destroyed their lives and now controls their city. And it is a 3-issue miniseries. Issue 1 came out this year and has now sold over 1,000 copies and growing strong. This is one of the fastest track record selling books for me. This is outside of distribution, so this is just me going to cons and slinging each book, to one person at a time, making one sale at a time. And we've already slung 1,000 copies of this book. By next year, we're gonna double that number with issue 2 coming out. So that's typically what tends to happen. This is a book that's going to rise up real fast. And the best thing about it is I have a very grassroots process to building my IPs, in the sense that I want to build it one reader at a time as opposed to just going through distribution. Because when you look at it at the grand scheme of things, not that I don't want to work with distributors. I absolutely want to work with distributors. But I want to make the job of the retailer as easy as possible, because retailers don't have the time to educate every single one of their customers about what a Yi Sun Shin is or what a Warline is. That's what I have to do. So I have to go out and I have to meet people at these shows, and it's something I love doing. I love interacting with people, and it's allowing me to build up what I'm doing with my IP, so that I can get to a point where I can come to those retailers and say, hey guys, Yi Sun Shin, and this is a book that people have talked about. Well, we're issuing it, and we want to work with you, and we want to make this book available to your customer base, and we want to do something that'll make it very easy for you to sell it. And once I figure out what that is, or once I feel like it's time to take that risk, believe me, I'll be working a lot more closely with retailers. And we do work with a closed network of retailers, and if anybody wants to join, that arrangement, can reach out to me directly. I offer wholesale prices on everything, 50% off if you are a retailer, and and you're interested in stocking our stuff, you can always reach out to me. But if you're just a fan and you want to pick up, not just a fan, if you're a fan and you want to support me, you can grab Warline number 1 right now. Normally I charge 10 for this. I will do it for 5 tonight. We're going to take 50% off on Warline number 1, the cover A, and we're going a little bit further than just that 20%. And then we've already had a few claims on the Tales from the Crypt. I have a very small stack of books left. This is a Tales from the Crypt graphic novel that I worked on. I contributed to from Super Genius, and it has a cover by Bernie Wrightson. Sorry, and this is going to go for $15 tonight. I have 8 copies that I can sell. So what you see up here is what you get. That's it. Next up, I have Mark's A Tale of Neglect. This is another book that's about to go back to press. And I don't know, I've been thinking about it a little bit. I was thinking about rebranding the title. I know that I've spoken with Ted about it, and I spoke with my sister about it. My sister really doesn't like the title, but I kind of do. I like the title, A Tale of Neglect. And if anybody out there has a different opinion, let me know. But Marx is the story of my grandfather, and it is, in my opinion, a tale of neglect. My grandfather grew up he was born in the Ukraine, and he spent the first years of his life in Paris. His father was a research scientist at Pasteur Institute. In fact, there's a plaque dedicated to him over there. And he then moved his family back to the Ukraine when the Soviet Union was formed. And he was very politically outspoken, very politically involved, and he ended up being shot and killed once Stalin came to power, or he just disappeared. So we don't even know what happened to him. But it wasn't good. Anyway, my grandfather's mother had died a few years before that. So by the time he was 14, he was orphaned. And he didn't really have a relationship with his parents. Like, his mom was, I'm sure his parents loved him, but, you know, in a lot of ways, I think he was neglected, you know, and a lot of the things that I noticed about his character in the older years, the way I knew my grandfather, like his relationship with my grandmother was, he always wanted to go, and she was never listening to him. You know, she was always saying something, and she was always kind of like telling him, no, you know, like, shut up, you know, stop being a cheap ass, stop doing this. They had really great banter. My grandfather and grandmother, like, they deserved their own, like, comedy special. They were hysterical. It was so ridiculous. Like, they would just get into fights over, like, the dumbest shit ever. It was so hilarious. And, like, she would, like, say all these, like, funny words to describe him, you know, like, if I repeated them here, you guys wouldn't even, like, understand, but, like, you know, being fluent in Russian, like, I learned Russian for this shit. That's how entertaining it got. But, you know, there was always a sense of, you know, innocence in my grandfather, of always wanting to be loved. And he always wanted my grandma to tell him that she loved him. And she got so annoyed of it. She got so annoyed of him always wanting her to profess his love to him. And he's, you know, they just always had this banter with each other. It was funny. But when my grandfather was dying, I think I really got a chance to see how much my grandmother loved him. When it came to making this book, it was really difficult for me, I have to say. Difficult in the sense that I had to revisit a lot of things, and I had to omit a lot of things that were happening behind the scenes. That, you know, I want to say in some ways had a great impact on how things turned out for me. And it was honestly thanks to J.M. DeMatteis that I was able to kind of like hone the story in, because he was really good at helping me like eliminate the outside noise and really focus on, Onrie, what does this story mean to you? And that was always the question I was avoiding, because I was always trying to make this book something that my family would be proud of. And at some point, I just kind of had to say, you know what? I don't care if my family is proud of me. I don't care if my family agrees or disagrees. This is what the story of my grandfather is, in my view. This is how I saw him. And I saw him as a man who was neglected a lot, not just by his parents, who just didn't have time to be with him. His mother was an opera singer, and his dad was a research scientist. Like, his mother was actually living in Milan. He was raised by a governess. Like, you know, they had means and everything. And then he was orphaned at 14 because they both were dead. And he had lived with his stepmother, and then he left high school and he was drafted into the military. And then a couple of years after being in the military, he was thrown into a Russian prison camp. Very unfortunate. But this man had such fortitude that he was able to survive all that. I found that to be the meat of the story, that despite how neglected he was by his parents, and the neglect he feels of wanting love, and him not even being able to give love in certain cases, like his first wife, they married out of convenience, and that's always how he spoke of it. And it's unfortunate because he had 2 children with them, with his first wife, and I knew them. It was my uncle, and I had 2 uncles. One of them actually got hit by a train and died in Russia, and the other one is still alive. He lives in Russia now, and that was my grandfather's son. I didn't really know much about that side of the family, but it's like that's a part of his legacy. And sometimes I think my grandpa was really hard on everybody, man. He used to make people, he could turn anybody in, he could make anyone feel really shitty about themselves just by uttering a sentence. He could really break you down. And man, he hated comics. Oh my God. He actually I sat with him in his office one year, and he told me, you don't have what it takes to be a comic book creator. He's like, you will write shitty stories. Their stories all suck. And I'm like, so you think you would be better at writing comics? And he's like, yes. If I wrote comic, it would be best comic ever. And I'm just like, all right, Grandpa. Did you happen to find my weed collection in your drawer there, buddy? I would have totally shared with him. I would have loved to have gotten high with my grandpa, but he wasn't that kind of guy. He was a drinker, and man, was he a drinker. And there's all kinds of stories in Mark's, but really what I wanted this book to focus on was the life he lived, and to really showcase the fortitude of this man, because he lived a very long life, and he had a very eventful life, and he endured some pretty difficult hardships that I pray to God we don't ever have to live through again. I really do. I mean, in these times, we have so much to be grateful for, and it's just one of those things where it's like we shouldn't take for granted the things that our forefathers, our grandfathers, all these people that they experienced. We should not ever take any of that stuff for granted. And so you can grab Mark's A Tale of Neglect. We're about to go back to press on this. This is going to go for $15 right now, and I only got 8 copies of it, so I don't have a lot of it in stock, but it is going to go back to press soon. We are going to go to Kickstarter with Mark's, so there's another opportunity to pick it up, but it's just I only have a few of these copies left. I don't have much left in stock. So just something for you guys to think about. And then the last thing I'm going to showcase, and then we're calling it a night. Jesus, we actually went on for 2 hours. I was thinking this would take an hour, but I think in between, Dexter and Chuck showing up here, it kind of worked out the other way. Anyway, we got Yi Sun-shin, Warrior and Defender, the first hardcover volume here. This one features a foreword by Stan Lee. And those of you guys who have, come and watch my shows before know that I got to meet Stan multiple times. He was really wonderful, and he's really great. And we have the first graphic novel. This is the first printing. We're going back to press on this, and we're updating the files and doing everything. I'm doing this today at $20. And then we have the Fallen Avenger graphic novel. That's volume 2. This one has a foreword by Judd Reed in it. He is a Kyokushin karate master, and he did this challenge called the 100-Man Fight, where he fought 100 black belts in a row with very limited breaks in between. And he's a big inspiration to me, and I asked him to write the foreword to the second graphic novel, and he agreed. So we got both the hardcovers going for $20 a piece. That would be $40 total for both the Yi Sun-shin graphic novels. That's 20% off both hardcovers. These normally sell for $25 at conventions. And that's everything. I'm going to just respond to a couple comments here. We have someone here from Korea. Gim Jin Oh, Merry Christmas. Yes, this is live. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you love Yi Sun-shin comics. Thank you for your wonderful comment. And anybody who's interested in picking up anything after hours, just message me. We can work out a deal. All this stuff is for sale. We got plenty of it in stock. Those of you who came by to shop tonight, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Merry Christmas. Hug your loved ones. Be at peace. Enjoy life.